Did you see Reggie Bush got his Heisman back?
And he got it taken away because he made money as a player
Yeah.
in college.
It's tough, right? Like, I'm glad he got his Heisman back, especially with the rules they're doing now. It makes all the sense in the world. But to go back, it's tough, right? Because then this starts a slippery slope. Because if you're Nick Diaz, like what he got busted for in the 2-year ban is legal now. So do all sports go back?
You mean weed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do all sports go down this road?
I think so. I think you should.
So
I think if somebody's doing life in jail for selling weed, which there are people doing right now, and it's legal now, I think they should be released.
Oh, of course, yeah,
know?
no shit.
But that's a huge thing, you know.
No, I know, but let's stick to sports. So then,
but it's the same principle.
Yes and no, because the rules change. Yeah, yes and no.
Well, yeah, you're right, because that's actually a good point. Because if the rules were the rules
at the time,
they were there. You broke the rules, so you got stripped of your. It'd be like in a way, it'd be like, well, you testosterone's allowed because there was an exemption back then. It's allowed now, whatever it is. It's like if you violated the rules as they were, you got that's kind of.
That's usually on the side I fall on. Like, well, those were the rules at the time.
It's true.
You cheated the system, you got caught, so you pay the penalty. Yeah. But it's tough because this does open up a weird kind of road, you know?
He technically forfeited the trophy. So I think that plays a little bit into it.
But I do think that, that's an interesting thing.
But remember, they also took, I think they took his trophy out of USC. They did some shit, took him off, all the marketing. And remember, Reggie Bush, there's an argument, the best college player of all time. He's up the top 5 of all time.
I mean, 2005 was a great year. Yeah.
And they
crushing.
They left O.J. Simpson's Heisman,
Wild to me.
Murdered
he held on to it?
Yeah. But again, he didn't break the rules when it comes to football.
But also he was found innocent. So you can't take his, In a court of law, O.J. Simpson was found innocent of murder. Say whatever you want. But
was found guilty in civil, though.
That's very different. You're
that's
not
court of law, though.
It's civil is different than criminal.
No, of course they're different, but the world's court of law.
He could sue them for taking his trophy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's found guilty in a court of law.
Again, civil is different than criminal, and 100%. It doesn't hold the same.
We all know this. I know. I'm just saying he was found guilty in that.
He was found liable. It's different. It's not.
No, he's found guilty.
No, he's found liable. There's a big difference.
They say guilty.
No,
they didn't say liable.
No, they said he's found liable. There's a big difference.
I don't think so, B.
In a civil court, guilty versus liable is different. It just is. It's a big difference, especially in our social discourse and our moral discourse and everything about how that goes. You can be found liable, and you're technically guilty in the civil court, but found liable. It's in a civil case. See? So they don't really say you're guilty, they say you're found liable. Meaning you owe a debt, a monetary debt.
And that was what
material debt.
Why he owed whatever it was, the
$33.5 million.
Yeah.
And in 1999, his Heisman sold for $230K as a part of a sale to help settle that debt.
$230K? Someone bought his Heisman for $230K.
And then I believe he tried to steal it back, and that's when he
got in trouble, right?
He was stealing a bunch of his stuff back. I don't know if that was one of the items there, but
yeah, his thing's different than Reggie's. I think Reggie definitely deserves his Heisman. It's weird to take it from him.
Yeah.
It's just it opens up a can of worms, right?
How was Reggie Bush's? How long did he play pro for?
Oh wow, he's good
10
too.
Years?
He was just ahead of his time. If he had a Kyle Shanahan as a coach, he'd be 8-time All Pro.
Why?
Because at the time he was in between. He was like a Christian McCaffrey where he could catch. He was in a 3-down running back. And at the time, they really didn't know how to use him. He still played well. For Miami, he was a baller.
11 seasons.
For New Orleans, he was a baller. No, he was mid to the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
But he would have been so good in this day and age of football. So good.
Really?
So damn good.
So the reason Christian McCaffrey, he's also awesome, but the reason he's so good is how the offense is.
Yeah, they structured around him to give him the best opportunities. He's catching. He's lined up in slot. They're using him all over. Reggie was that guy. The offense wasn't there yet. So he was before his time. But he was like a Christian McCaffrey or Alvin Kamara.
Kamara, yeah.
Yeah, he's like him.
McCaffrey and Kamara can also play little wide receiver positionings too. So that's kind of cool. It's like when you find a tight end that can block for you. It's huge. And
Yeah,
that's what
Reggie
makes
could do it
McCaffrey
all.
so
Could
good.
catch, run, but he came too soon. If he came now, superstar.
Yeah.
I mean, he was fucking good though. People get it twisted, but he wasn't like he was in college though, dominating.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a slippery slope. Because if I'm an athlete, I get screwed over by something, I'd be like, look what the NCAA is doing.
Yeah. Right?
But if you're Nick Diaz, there's not much argument. Like, what are you going to argue? You can't get time back, can't get fights back.
But they originally wanted to ban him for like, what, 5 or something years, but they took it back. They took it back, so he was able to fight.
They banned him for 2 years, though. He didn't fight for 2 years.
Yeah, so 2 years is still a lot for sure.
Yeah.
In your prime, that's forever.
Yeah.
It's for
But remember also the retroactive stuff that they do with UFC and drug testing? So they just somehow find out, like, 2 years before or 5 years before, they found someone tested positive or something, and they just had the technology to recognize it now. They'll just, like, I think TJ Dillashaw was one of the examples, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's all retroactive stuff that's like, could be debatable.
TJ had a 2-year suspension.
Yeah.
Good for Reggie, though. Their campaign worked, too, because there's billboards up around L.A., like, give Reggie his Heisman back. Like, there's a whole kind of
Whole community
petition.
fighting
Yeah.
for it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.